No one's hearing either of us.
Am I
Yeah?
heard?
Yeah. There we go. Now we're
All
good.
right. Things are
Okay.
happening. Things are happening.
We're doing it. Okay, I gotta turn my volume down on my phone. So yeah, Apex Season 9 just dropped.
Yeah,
Super
I
stoked.
completely forgot that that was today.
Yeah. With yeah, Tina, I know you can't hear us. You can now. Um sorry, babe. Sorry. I don't talk to her like that, guys. Sorry, babe.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Oh man.
Um, yeah, I'm super stoked about this season.
Yeah, the new gameplay with the whole
3v3?
yes.
I think that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with that. And
First
I feel
comments.
real good about our chances without getting third partied.
No, that was the first comments I read about it was everybody going, "Oh, here's everybody on the internet right now. Oh, no, I won't get third party, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
me.
was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's why they made this mode
Yeah,
was
exactly. Because I was
for
pissed about it.
yeah, for everybody who's tired of getting third partied all the fucking time
Yeah.
when you're
But I
like,
like that they're gonna rotate the maps. There's a lot of smaller maps. I think that's gonna be cool. And new legend.
yeah, she's dope. Val they say it really I always said Valkyrie, but it's Valkyrie.
No, it's Valkyrie. No, let's
I know.
not. Let's not. We're not.
Yeah, that's how they say it during the commercials, and I'm like, I don't think anybody says it
No,
that way.
no, nobody says it that
Don't be
way. It's
fucking
fine.
weird, Respawn.
Don't be weird, respawn. Um, I'm stoked though. I mean, as a huge, massive Titanfall 2 fan, I'm just happy that I can end her bloodline by killing her because I already killed her dad about 80 times,
Yeah,
so many times.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
definitely gonna at least try her out a little bit.
Oh, I'm totally gonna. I'll probably main her all season.
Yeah, yeah. But I'll stick with Fuse because I love Fuse. He's a good push character, and that's what
Yeah.
I like to do.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me. I've been a Bloodhound main since season one.
yeah,
It's hard for me to get from from anything else.
yeah.
It's like we grew up together, you know.
I've switched 4 mains because you forget that Pathfinder was my main at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I haven't touched him since
Yeah.
because as soon as I saw somebody just like zip lining across the map like it was nothing, I was like, all right, well, I suck with this guy. I'm just gonna go
Yeah.
ahead and give that up.
Because those people are Titanfall players.
Yeah.
Those
Yep.
people have experience slingshotting because of Titanfall.
Yep. Yeah. The Titanfall Day thing, it got some traction.
Yeah, it got
So
all the way up to like 30,000 players, which
yep.
normally you average like maybe 2,
Yep. I
you know?
think I think EA might let Respawn get back into it. They made them focus on that Star Wars game for a while,
Yeah.
and then I mean they've taken over battle royales as far as I'm concerned.
Mhm.
I mean, Fortnite will always hold the top spot because 12-year-olds love to emote and do stupid stuff, but like
Yeah.
people that are real competitive battle royale players play Apex.
Yeah, for sure,
Like
for sure. And I
so,
mean, that's why even like the Apex Global Series is so popular.
yeah.
Like those, they pack those things, and like every time I try to catch them when I can, when they stream them live, and I mean, you get a lot of people. It's still a lot of traction, a lot more than I think some people realize. Like those hardcore Fortnite or Warzone players, they think the game's
Yeah.
dead. It's far from dead.
Oh no, absolutely not. So, all right. Well, you ready to get this thing started?
Oh yes, absolutely.
All right, let's do this.
I'm gonna point out that it's not.
What up? What up? What up? Welcome to the BFCU.
It's not good. It's better than I thought, but it's still not good.
I just thought you say what up, what up, what up, and then throw your hands up and then say BFCU. That's it. That's all I got. That's my best impression of CJ. So yeah, speaking of CJ, he's just sort of moderating tonight, maintaining the stream for us. Um, and Lance is being distracted by his family. So, but yeah, so it's Lance and I tonight, and uh we're gonna be covering a big one. And you'll see why once we get into it, why it's Lance and I, because I think him and I probably. Geek out about this movie more than anybody I know.
Oh yeah.
Um, this is a big one. So, in case this is your first time tuning in, this is basically each week we try to, at least every week, we break down different Marvel movies within the MCU, going in chronological order based on the story, not by release date. So
Chronological order.
chronological order.
I'm surprised you actually said that right.
That's a whole different other thing. But yeah, Lance, what movie are we talking about tonight?
oh, uh, I would venture to say both of our favorite movie in the MCU, hands down, bar none, far and
Yeah,
away above anything else.
yeah, hands down. Yeah.
Captain America, The Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I'm excited.
I get goosebumps.
I
Like
know.
thinking about how great, how phenomenal this movie is. It's more
It
than great.
I've haven't watched this movie in probably about 2 years now. Um Watching it this time, I mean, obviously I was really giddy. I've been wanting to watch it for a while now, but I kept holding off cuz I was like, "No, I just want to just watch it right before," which we had to cancel the stream last week as far as this. So I almost watched it again this week just
I
cuz I
watched it
wanted.
twice. I watched it twice.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought about it just cuz I was like, I just want a reason just to watch the movie again. Cuz I fucking love this movie so goddamn
It's
much.
so good. It's so good.
I think I love this movie the same reason why I love, like, the Mission Impossible films, or I love James Bond films.
Yeah.
Like, I love the espionage, the secret, the secret spy type of shit, and I love the hand-to-hand combat in this
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
movie.
Well, I think like far and away more than any other movie in the MCU, like this is not a comic book movie.
Mm-mm.
This is a spy movie with comic book characters.
This has to be, like, the first genre movie I think they did to this point.
Yeah.
This was the
Uh
first one, really.
yeah, I would say so for sure.
You know? Except for, like, Iron Man 3 being a,
Is shitty movie a genre?
I think it's a Christmas movie, technically.
You
It
might be
is
right.
technically a Christmas
You might be
movie.
right. Yeah.
I noticed too a weird thing that this new Spider-Man movie is going to be, take place during Christmas, and it's weird how it parallels that the 3rd Iron Man took place during
Oh.
Christmas. I wonder if they did that on purpose.
They
The 3rd
I
Spider I
mean,
mean,
they're
because 'cause they're
good they're good at
trying
doing they're
to
good at
set
doing
him
their
up.
parallels. Like Marvel is
Yeah.
really good at doing their parallels and they made sure to
Sony
run with that.
isn't though, so I wonder how much
Yeah,
Marvel had to say over that.
I think a lot.
Yeah. Um, so who's it distort conform is laughing. I think it's just laughing because everybody in the chat's just like telling each other that they love each other.
Yeah,
So
I know. We love the chat. Everyone in
we
the
love the
chat, we
chat.
love you.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, let's break down the synopsis real quick. So basic plot, it's 2 years after the Battle of New York. Steve Rogers is working in Washington, D.C. for the espionage agency of Shield. So it's kind of the fish out of water type of story because it's him kind of, winding up with the new age of everything. But he's 2 years into it, so it's not so much like, how does a cell phone work and like all that stupid stuff. You know
I
what
mean,
I'm talking about?
there's a little bit of that.
There's a little bit of it, but he's for the most part, like, he's in it,
Yeah.
and you see that right off the fucking bat.
Oh,
Him and Rumlow and the whole strike team are in
yeah.
the plane, and he's just, like, jumps out the fucking
Yeah.
plane,
Did he just
and
jump
they're
without
like
a parachute?
and he's like,
Yep.
"Yep." I mean, and they, like, the good contrast of that was him jumping out with the parachute out of Howard Stark's plane in the first,
Mhm.
Captain America. And then he just wrecks shop on the ship.
Okay. So the whole intro on the ship to this movie is absolutely flawless. It is
Yeah,
a phenomenal action sequence.
yeah.
But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, when you watch that, Captain America kills so many people.
I know. I thought
So
that.
many of those guys are just dead, eaten by sharks,
I was
drowned in
thinking
the
that.
ocean, dead. He's like
Yeah.
running and just shoulder checks a dude off the side. He's like, oh, splash, dead,
Yeah, dead.
dead.
I remember, and Tina can chime in on this. We were watching it, and I was just like, Cap's just murdering dudes, just
So
left
many
and right,
deaths.
just killing everybody. Like, we were watching it, and I was just like, I've never seen him kill so many just regular people. Like,
Yeah, yeah, not
yeah, it's a darker Cap.
yeah, for
It's
sure.
definitely a darker Cap. Even him in the Avengers, isn't he still that kind of stars and stripes, kind of,
Oh yeah, yeah,
oh, let's save the day kind of, Cap, but yeah,
yeah.
no, it's
Well, I
it's
mean,
completely
and I
different.
think that that goes along with like a lot of the themes in this movie. Like you get to see a lot of, I mean, later on in the movie, you see a lot of Cap's distrust for the government still.
Mhm.
Like, even as
Oh,
a
yeah.
patriot, as the number 1 American patriot of all time, he still doesn't trust the government because nobody
Yeah.
should trust the government. As
Yeah.
2 people that work for the government, you should not trust the government. Like
Yes, absolutely. Um, which is which I think says a lot more about Cap's character and how the MCU developed him quickly with that,
Mhm.
because he comes from the Greatest Generation, which
Yeah,
was one of the most trusting generations of the government.
absolutely.
So, just to see him kind of make that change really quick on his kind of ideas about stuff like that, and it starts in the Avengers, you know,
Mhm.
and then it just ramps up right away. I mean, right off the bat, I mean, you got Natasha downloading files. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Damn beer. Actually, real quick, speaking of beer, we totally just skipped something that we do every week, and
Yeah, I didn't even
CJ's
think
not
of
here,
that.
and that's why I didn't remember.
We
So
run our own show where we do this. We should be fine.
I know, right? We do it in literally every one of our shows that we do. Um, Real quick, Lance, what are you drinking? What was the last movie you saw?
The last movie I saw. Ooh, 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 ooh. Let me think, let me think, let me think. I mean, I don't wanna say Cap the Winter Soldier because that's the one.
Yeah.
But I've gotta have something else. Well, I'll me go to I'm just drinking water.
Okay.
Just water today. I
Just
need
water. Just
it's
good
been a
old
long week at
H2O.
work and I've been beating the shit out of myself physically and I need to recover super bad and everything it feels like it's gonna be injured at any moment, so I gotta hydrate myself.
I gotcha.
But the last movie I think I actually sat down and watched was the Steve Carell and Ryan Gosling movie with Emma Stone.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Yeah, it's
Love.
so funny.
Oh, I can't think of it. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's a great
Crazy
movie
Stupid
though.
Love.
That's it. Crazy
Yeah,
Stupid Love. Yeah,
I
I
watched that
like
like
that
last
movie.
week.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It's
Yeah.
hilarious. It's
Mhm.
hilarious.
Yeah.
What about you, Jeff? What are you drinking? What's the last movie you watched?
Drinking a delicious, well, you can't see it through the, there
Oh
we
yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah. There you go.
Shinerbach, and then I just watched Without Remorse with Michael B. Jordan, the
Oh,
new
how is
Tom
that?
Clancy movie. Oh, so good.
I really want to watch. I really want to see it.
I think they might be, I'm not gonna spoil it, but I think they might be setting up like a multiverse thing within the Tom Clancy
I
books.
hope so. That'd be so dope. That'd be so
They ha
dope.
it, I'm hoping this movie does well enough because it has a huge, like, yeah, a big reveal at the end. You're
Yeah.
like, "Holy shit,
Okay.
no."
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Uh,
um,
did you watch the other one with John Krasinski, the show?
oh, the Jack Ryan show, I haven't watched it yet.
It's decent. It's worth
It's okay.
watching. Yeah.
Which I wonder if they might tie those into each
I
other,
figured with
'cause
Amazon hosting them both, I would hope so. I
they
mean,
do,
it's not great. It's not the
'cause
greatest thing you're gonna see because John Krasinski is like 12 feet tall and plays like an awkward analyst turned. Yeah, and I'm sure he's like the nicest person in the world, but he's just weird. It doesn't
yeah,
really fit sometimes.
yeah. Well, John Kelly's character in Without Remorse, which was the first, it wasn't called Without Remorse, it was called something else, but that was the first Tom Clancy book.
Yeah.
And then Jack Ryan, they tie into each other
Hmm.
a fucking ton of times
Yeah.
throughout the books.
Yeah.
So it's been played by William Dafoe, and then I think Liev Schreiber played him too in Some of
Oh
All
yeah,
Fears, the
yeah,
one
that's right.
with
That's
Ben
right.
Affleck.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
call. Ooh, good
he
throwback.
played John Kelly, aka John Clark, later on. But yeah, I'm excited. I hope they set up like a little cinematic universe of
Yeah,
Tom Clancy stories. That'd be really cool. I mean, they've tried it sort of a couple times with
yeah,
when Harrison Ford played him a couple times, played
yeah.
Jack Ryan. So
Yeah, I mean, it'd be
yeah.
interesting to see, and I think now, like, I mean, they're so big on holding entire universes. Like, you see how big Marvel is, and
Hmm.
obviously Star Wars and stuff. And that's the thing. That's what everybody wants to do. It's what DC is trying to do.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Yeah.
going to try, but I think Amazon has the money and funding to pull something like that off. So
Yeah. Yep.
might as well give it a shot. I'll watch
Yep.
it.
And I do really quick want to say that one, Michael B. Jordan has been confirmed to be in the next Black Panther movie,
Oh,
which has been titled. The title came out. Did you see the Phase 4
Wakanda Forever.
reveals? Yep, Black
Yeah,
Panther Wakanda Forever,
yeah,
and then they released the title for The Marvels,
yeah,
which will
yeah.
follow Monica Rambeau, Carol Danvers, and Kamala Khan.
Which is
So
so dope. So dope.
yes,
That's gonna be so
yeah,
sick.
yeah,
I'm really excited to bring Kamala Khan into the MCU.
yeah,
I
to bring
didn't
in
quite
such a new
expect it this
character.
early.
Yeah,
I expected there to get a little more development out of Carol Danvers, but I'm into it.
yeah, I'm super into it. So, um, but yeah, speaking of bringing newer characters into the MCU, the actual character of the Winter Soldier, because that's really what this movie is all about, got brought into this. I mean, he was only created in like 2005. He was written
Was it
as a
really that
character.
late? I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's the whole story of the Winter Soldier, Bucky being brought back to life and all that kind of stuff was kind of a new thing. So, um real quick, I do want to kind of backtrack and get back on track. So, I was saying though was like, right away you see Cap kind of get mad at Natasha because she sort of had a different mission of
Hmm.
I need to collect this information, and it's him sort of getting mad at her right away and being like, "Hey, that's not what our mission is." You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like you need to let me know. I'm taking point on this mission. I'm in
yeah.
charge of the strike team.
And I mean, they did a really good job just throwing that tension out there right away. To
Yeah.
know, like, there's tension. We're gonna be through this, and
Mhm.
Caps at the front of it.
Yeah. Um this was a very very different Black Widow in this movie.
Hmm.
This was very like she doesn't trust anybody yet. She
Yeah,
doesn't she doesn't know anybody yet. She doesn't trust anybody. She's still like, "Hey, I trust Shield and I trust Nick Fury,
yeah.
and
And I mean, granted,
that's
I
it."
mean, there's three things you would trust, like Shield, Nick Fury, and Hawkeye, and Clint
Yeah,
Barton.
that's it. Yeah.
And the reason for all those is because they have all individually saved her life.
Yes, they saved her.
She would be dead in a ditch somewhere if it wasn't for Nick Fury and Shield
Yeah.
saving her and utilizing her and giving her everything she needs.
Yep. And real quick, Cap earns her trust.
Yeah.
I mean, 100%. Like this is really like, I think even early on when they had this, that it was kind of like, oh, is Cap and Jesus, almost said
Black
Scarlet
Widow.
Witch, Black Widow. I was thinking Scarlett Johansson. Black Widow gonna be like a whole like, are they
Yeah.
gonna ship them? But I
They
was like,
tried. They tried so hard, and Captain
yeah,
America, Steve Rogers shut that down.
yeah,
Because like they're going down the elevator, they kiss, and she's like, "Are you uncomfortable now?" And he's like, "Uncomfortable is not the word that I would use." That means he's got a boner.
yeah, yeah. They
That
did.
means he's got a 1940s boner. And
Yeah,
then like later, they're in the car and they're talking, and she's like, "Well, what do you need?" And he's like, "How about a friend?" Boom, friend zone, bitch.
yep, yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
we talked about Captain America's boner in this movie.
yeah,
True
that we did.
story.
That's America's boner right there.
So speaking of that scene, right after that, they go into the Apple store. Do
Yep.
you know the story of Aaron, the Apple store owner or the Apple
No,
store worker?
no.
Okay. So, um, so Aaron is new Master 69 and it's canon. He is new Master 69
No
from Endgame.
way.
Okay. So, couple months ago, they were doing the Falcon and Winter Soldier um, tie-in commercial with GameStop, right?
Yeah.
Sam Wilson, like Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson goes into a GameStop and he's like, I was blipped out of existence for 5 years. I need to catch up on what video games are there. And the guy who plays Aaron is working at GameStop now. And he goes, yeah, you can find me on Xbox. I go under the tag name New Master 69.
What?
Yes, it is canon that he is New Master 69. So, yeah, yeah, it's a crazy revelation that everybody
Wow.
tied in right away.
I didn't even I
Um,
see, I've never seen that commercial, so now, like,
yeah, you gotta watch it, it's pretty funny.
I just think
Um,
just the MCU keeping everything connected, throwing things backdoor things that
and another cameo that I don't know if it's canon, but Joe Russo's in this too,
Mhm. Yeah, as the doctor.
but he's also in Endgame during the little help group.
He is, that's right, I completely
So
forgot
is
about
that the
that.
same character? I wonder if, like, Cap was just friends with him
Well, yeah, I
throughout
mean,
the
obviously,
years.
he knows they have a relationship that he can
Yeah,
call this random doctor, so probably.
yeah.
He's
I
probably
think
and I'm sure
I think
Cap
it
has
is.
called him enough times for help, and it's time that once this all happened and he got lost and he needed help, he called Cap for help.
Yeah. I That's the only thing. I didn't catch it the first time I watched it. I think just
Yeah, I
because
didn't either.
I hadn't seen Joe and Anthony Russo that much. They hadn't had a lot
Yeah,
of, like, press time and stuff like that, but then, you know but speaking of them, like, holy shit, what a fucking intro to the MCU.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, now they had the same writers, that did the first 2, which were I totally lost their names. It's 2 writers, though, that did the first, Captain America, excuse me. Um, but then they decided to bring in Joe and Anthony Russo. Yeah, CJ, if you could just look up for me, the writers, because for some reason I cannot remember their names, and just see what other movies they have written. But this was such a departure. Tina, that was a good comment. She said Captain Murder.
You're not wrong. You are not
No.
wrong.
Yeah, I wasn't looking down at the comments. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was in this movie. Um, but yeah, Joe and Anthony Russo just came in and crushed it.
Yeah.
And I think it was good having them because um they did a really good job of kind of creating a good narrative that went through their 4 films of
Mhm.
Cap
Yeah.
as a character.
Yeah.
Like, they did a really good line that they
Well,
drew all the
I
way
think,
through
like,
for
I
him.
mean, realistically, like, if I am a Marvel executive, like, in a boardroom and
Mhm.
I wanna test someone to see how they're gonna carry out the rest of this universe that everyone loves so much, everyone's so vested in, I'm gonna give them something like the Winter Soldier. Let's throw them some shit about a character they care about with a bunch of weird shit that nobody knows.
Yeah, yeah,
So let's see how vested we can keep people.
yeah,
Everybody loves Cap, but then you're gonna throw them all this weird stuff like Falcon and obviously the Winter Soldier and
yep,
Batroc the Leaper and Crossbones, like all this weird references that nobody's gonna understand.
yeah, which
Like,
let's go back to him real quick. The introduction of GSP. Oh, yeah, hold on. Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely? Those were the writers?
okay,
Okay, okay. Yeah, so those were the main 2 writers. Thank you, CJ.
I mean they developed a phenomenal story, but the Russo brothers just knocked it out of the park with execution.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Um, Man, yeah, back to the intro. Like, again, it's just the most perfect intro of all time.
yeah,
It's right into the action. It's everything I want to see. There's so much just raw, visceral, like violence in the most perfect, like subtle, reasonable way without being like over too overly dramatic. And then you readily get into what this movie is going to be when you see Batroc the Leaper and you see George St. Pierre pretty much at the height of his career.
yes, yeah. And they even contrasted, like, the colors that he wears
Yeah. Yeah.
very well.
Yeah, they did.
like
They did. They like
super well.
I mean, Betrock wears like a purple thing, like
Yeah,
but like they did a really good job like modernizing it, and making it
yeah,
look natural, not uncomfortable, too comic book, too cartoonish.
yeah, yeah.
And then you get to see the two of them fight, and I think it gives another view into like who Captain America is, who Steve Rogers of the 21st century is,
Yeah.
because they go through their like mini fight, their mini scuffle, and he's like, "I thought you were more than just a shield." Throws it on his back, takes the helmet off, does not care about his
No.
hair, doesn't care about like I that's what such a perfect detail that his hair is all jacked up. And you're like,
Mhm.
Cap's like, doesn't matter. It's go time.
Yeah.
We're doing
Yeah.
this.
Let's
Because at
do
the end of the
this.
day, no matter what he is, like he's a soldier and he's always down.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, it was great. It it was probably my favorite. It's gotta be one of my favorite intros. Not
Yeah.
my all-time favorite. That one goes to Endgame, but
Well, yeah, but dude, we can't talk about it. I'll cry.
but yes, it's definitely one of my favorite intros or
Yeah.
cold openings, um, to a, one of these MCU films. So, yeah, right after that, we get through that mission, um, and then after we get through the mission, does it go straight into Cap running around the pond, running around
Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
George
Yeah. It was
Washington
running on the
Monument?
George Washington Monument.
Yep.
On your
Um,
left.
on your left. On your left. What a crazy payoff too later on in Endgame. Like, why?
I know. I
It's such
know.
a throwaway. It could be such a throwaway joke, and
Yeah.
then we're gonna bring that back like years later,
And I'm
and
sure
all
there
we
was
have to say is on your left, in the fucking audience. Like, we all lost our
went
minds. We
nuts. We
already
all
knew.
went insane.
Yes, and it's just such a it's such good writing, such
Yeah,
great directing,
it
but
really is.
it's just a
And I'm
funny
sure like
little.
when that was written, like there was no intention of bringing that back.
Mhm.
But they kept the relationship between the two there,
Yep.
and that's how they ran it.
Yeah, we got introduced to Sam Wilson, aka the Falcon, who's now
AKA
Captain
Captain
America.
America.
I know you know
Captain
that.
America.
You haven't got to watch the show yet,
I
but
know, I know.
you saw him give him the shield,
Yes.
so you kind of get
Yeah.
what's gonna
I know,
happen.
and I knew we're getting there. I knew we were getting there. From the very beginning, I
Yeah,
knew we were gonna get there. There's
yeah,
no reason to introduce him unless we're gonna get there, and it
yeah,
was gonna happen. They did it in a flawless way, but
yeah. Like he says in the movie, I just do everything he does, just slower.
just slower. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, talk about a ride or die right there.
Yeah,
He's been
damn
hanging
right.
out with this dude for like one day, and he's just like, I'll do it anything. He's
Yeah.
like, dude, Captain America is asking me to do something.
Because
I'm
no
gonna do
matter
it.
what, I mean, we talk about like distrust the government.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what, Captain America is not. Captain America is America. That's what
Yeah.
he stands for.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Sam Wilson knows that. Falcon knows that.
Yeah.
Like it
I
doesn't
mean, he
matter.
he works at the VA. He literally just
Mhm,
helps veterans all day get through everything that they're trying to deal with, which obviously hits really close to home.
mhm,
And he says a line in the movie. He says, he's talking to Cap when he goes to visit him later on at the VA, and he says, "It's your bed, isn't it?" He
mhm.
says, "Yeah, feels like you're laying on clouds, like you're just gonna sink in." So it's just a tiny thing later on in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. There's a scene where Bucky, you see him in his apartment. He's been sleeping on the floor.
Oh,
Like
that's such
that's
a
never
good
left him.
detail.
Just a cool little detail like that where it's just
Yeah,
like Bucky's just been sleeping on his floor in his living room with just a blanket and a pillow.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So they really tie in a lot of that. As soon as you watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that show is more of a sequel to this movie
Okay.
in so many aspects. They bring back every aspect of
Yeah.
this
And
movie
that's
into
what
this.
I wanted that show to be. That's what I want
Yeah,
that show to be. And from the
yeah,
very beginning, I was hoping for that.
yeah.
Because
It's
even
very much.
since this movie, they haven't gone back to this style, this genre. Granted, they
No,
haven't had a whole lot of reason to, but that would have been the perfect reason to bring this back and keep that going.
yeah. Um, okay. Uh, Ru- um, Other two big characters I want to talk about that got brought in. So we got the introduction of Agent 13,
Hmm.
um, played by Emily Van Camp, which we don't find out in this movie. I don't believe so.
No, no, I was thinking about that. I was thinking about it the whole time, and I was like, no, you
Yeah,
don't.
that
You have no idea
they just
who
say her
she
name
really
is.
is.
They just say that her name is Sharon.
Yeah,
That's it. They don't at the end, but they don't say Sharon Carter.
yeah. Nobody knows.
So
Nobody knows.
yeah, and then Frank Grillo's character, who later comes
Crossbones.
back as Crossbones. Yes,
Yes.
yes. Which I looked him up like when this came out, and I was like, Rumlow. Why do I know? And then I looked it up. I was like, oh, it's fucking
Yeah.
Crossbones.
See,
Dope.
I remember like when they were doing like the announcements for the cast announcements. Like, I'm a big Frank Grillo fan. Like, I really enjoy Frank Grillo. I think he's a
Yeah,
cool individual.
he is.
I mean, he's like a lifetime martial artist. He's
Hmm.
a stunt guy. Like, he does all these things, and um, I think he's just super rad and super cool, and I really enjoy him. And I was super stoked that he was going to be on it.
Yeah, yeah. I really I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the end fight scene between him and
Yeah,
Sam.
yeah.
Um, where
I
Sam
expected a
was
little more about Sam,
yeah, Sam
rather
was
than getting
kind
his
of getting
ass
his
handed to
ass
him.
beat, but he's I'll
But
give
he's
it
been
to
out for
him.
a long time. He's been out for a
Yeah,
long time.
he's been out the game for a while, but he's definitely over all these movies plus the show. Now I'm like, Stu can do anything. So, um, but yeah, real quick, Lance, let's you want to go ahead and take a quick commercial break?
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
All right, cool. See you in a minute. So yeah, let's talk about we've kind of hit on most of the characters, and
Yeah,
we've
so
kind
like
of
the
talked
first
about
half of this movie, they throw a lot at you.
yeah,
Like, there's a
yeah,
lot of characters introduced. There's a lot of Easter eggs, a lot of little subtleties, and it isn't until 30 plus minutes into the entire movie, you actually realize what this movie's about.
yeah.
Like, it's
That's
more
true.
than 30 minutes in, you get the introduction of the Winter Soldier.
Yep, yep.
Like,
And
you
it's I wouldn't say there's like an A and B story to this movie.
no, not at
There
all, not
really
at all.
isn't. There's just two really important stories going on.
Yeah,
That's Hydra and the Winter Soldier.
yeah,
Like,
for sure, for sure. And I think, I mean, obviously they go in concert together because Hydra
yeah,
is running the Winter Soldier. So you watch like Nick Fury almost die, and Cap goes
which
home.
that's a dope fucking scene.
So dope. So
So
dope.
Joe and Anthony Russo said that that scene was inspired by the robbery scene in Heat.
Oh, I can totally get it now. That
Yeah,
totally clicked for me.
which they
Yes.
call the
Yes.
8 or the 7 or 8 like best or the 8 minute or how do they word it? The
Like the
best
best 8 minutes in cinema. Something
yeah,
like that.
something
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is the scene from Heat. Yeah.
It's which, I mean, if you guys haven't seen Heat, everyone needs to watch it
Yeah.
because that movie's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
just from a gun standpoint, it has like the most accurate gun play. Like, you watch when they go for reloads with their shorty ARs. Like,
Yeah.
he'll go and like you watch Val Kilmer go to load a magazine and then hit it on a car to make sure it's seated right. Like, extreme. There's just very intricate accuracies in there. The movie's great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hello,
Oh,
mama. We
hi
love you.
mama, hi mama, I love you.
Um so yeah, Nick Fury gets betrayed basically by a bunch of cops and then he shows up, man.
Yeah,
The
he
Winter
so he
Soldier.
he sh- well yeah. So Cap finds Nick at his house, and shit goes sideways in a real bad way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and like,
And
so
yes.
this was the first scene that I ever actually saw of the movie. It was released like on a talk show or like one of the talk shows or some shit like that. Was not Nick Fury getting the absolute fuck blown out of him, but
Yeah.
the chase scene. So Captain America runs after him. They end up on the roof. He goes to throw his shield, and it's caught with a big ass metal arm,
Yeah.
and it gets
Yeah.
thrown back. And like, it's so gnarly. Just the whole chase leading up to the catch.
Yeah, Cap
And
just running through walls.
oh, oh,
Just barrels through walls like
yes,
it's nothing.
yes, and like you forget sometimes like Cap is so human. Like just the way he acts, the way he talks, like he is probably the most human of the entire MCU.
Yeah.
And then you get that realize, oh, he is a superhuman.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah,
Like
that's when
he
he
can run
really brings it
he
back.
can literally run through walls. So like I saw this scene and like it was instant chills. I'm so stoked. But then right after that was when it was posted online and people would take like screen caps of it and they would change instead of the epic songs on top of it, they would change it. And you see this moment where he sees them and the chase starts and they change it to the America Fuck Yeah from Team America World Police. And you can picture that scene where it's
Yes.
like, duh, you see him across there. They start throwing, America, fuck yeah. And then, like, the shield catch is where the slow part happens.
Oh, yeah.
Catch, America, fuck yeah. Yeah, I think it's on YouTube still. You guys, everybody should watch it though, because it
Yeah,
is a glorious 3 minutes.
I will have to look that up. That is
It's so,
hilarious.
it's so funny. It's so funny. I'll send it to you after this.
For sure. Um,
Like we're a third through the movie, and we finally get to see this guy, and it's an epic moment.
yeah, and basically it's slowly being uncovered that Hydra has basically been this whole terror cell that's been living inside of Shield this entire time, and they have this plan to basically they're going to launch all these helicarriers, and the helicarriers are going to preemptively take out a bunch of people, which was especially right then and there what was going on in the government. That was when the whole like Snowden
Yeah,
shit was
they had
going
big
on.
issues with the NSA, and
Yep.
yeah,
So it was contrasting what was happening in our political realm in America at that time like really well. So yeah, it was I mean, even just if it would have just been that story, it still would have been super dope. And then they were like,
oh for
"Oh
sure,
yeah, we're also going to throw in, this whole thing going on that Bucky's still alive and he's been brainwashed
yeah,
and became the Winter Soldier. Um which the head of Shield, I'm going to go ahead or the head of Hydra
yeah.
at that point too. Um my my number one standout. It was It was fucking Alexander Pierce, man, like, fucking
Robert
goddamn
fucking
yeah,
Redford,
Robert Redford, just absolutely killing it,
yeah.
like
Which I mean, you expect
yeah,
nothing less out of it's Robert Redford.
yeah,
Like it's a comic book movie. This is so much bigger than I
yes,
think anybody realized. Like,
that was
why are we not talking about Robert Redford in this comic book movie?
did you know that his cameo scene in Endgame is the last film he ever did? Him reprising this character of Alexander Pierce.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, like because nobody knew it, he had already retired, and then Endgame came out, and then they were like, "Oh, shit, Robert Redford, he did show back up."
Yeah,
He's so good.
so
He's
good.
so good in this movie.
So
Like
good.
he feels like any character that would be, in charge of, MI6 in
Yeah.
Mission Impossible or
Yeah.
anything like
But
that.
and
Like,
he does a great job at literally playing I mean, it's he plays both sides. You
yeah.
get to see him as like the politician standing in front of everybody, and then you get to see him as the one that's put at the bottom of the pile because he fucked up and now the bus is driving over him. And then you realize that he's behind the scenes running everything and he's this
Mhm.
super evil, gnarly bad guy.
Yeah. Um CJ's saying we got 15 minutes, but I think we're probably going to go on for like 30 more minutes cuz I have a lot more to say.
So do I. I'm like not halfway through my notes right
If that's
now.
okay with you, CJ. Okay. Okay. All right, so we got the thumbs up from CJ. We're gonna go on a little bit longer just because I have a lot. Yeah, I have a lot to fucking still
Yeah,
unpack with
for
this
sure, for
movie.
sure.
Um, real quick, I want to get into. Well, I shouldn't say real quick. I want to get into. I think the greatest fight scene in the entire MCU,
The elevator, hands down.
the elevator.
The elevator.
I mean, like Oh, I know. There's so many freaking memes. Like
Yeah.
this scene still gets memed to this day.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
of him just pissing people off by saying something controversial and then just beating the shit out of. I
Yeah.
mean, the fact that Joe and Anthony Russo knew that this scene was so good that they were like, we're gonna bring it back for Endgame,
Mhm.
and then we're gonna flip it real
Then flip
quick
it.
on for
Yeah.
you guys. You know what
So
I
good.
mean? Like, and we'll get more into that once we get to Endgame. But it was Cap doesn't get a lot of like purposely cool guy moments.
Yeah.
He accidentally or with his physicality and actions, he does really cool stuff. But to say something really cool, like
Mhm. 'Cause that's I mean, it's not his style.
no,
You know? He's a man of action
yeah, but he knows those guys. We assume that he's been working with those guys for two
for a long
years
time.
now.
Yeah.
He knows that they're the best of the best at what they do. They're probably all like former SEALs, Delta, whatever. And he's just like he just lets them know, hey, before we get this started, does anybody want to get off? Like he's just like,
Yeah.
we're about to do this, and I'm gonna fuck you guys up, and he
Yeah.
does. Like, just I can't even begin to imagine trying to fight that many people in the most confined space
Oh,
ever.
yeah. Yeah.
Like, it is so
And, like,
insane.
they did such a good job at, like, playing that what chaos that would be.
Hmm.
Like, how intense, and then I mean, you could really see, like, how strong Cap is, and
Yeah,
nobody's holding him back, and then he ends the fight with literally throwing someone at the ceiling.
yeah.
Like, why not?
And then flips the shield up to catch it.
Yeah.
Which the physics of that shield, man, I will just never get over the physics of that shield. It
Well,
just makes
there are no
absolutely
physics to that shield.
no, it defies physics.
Yeah.
Apparently, vibranium just defies
Yeah.
physics. So
Yeah, you didn't know that?
yeah, um,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, the fact that they're trying to magnetize him to everything, he's pulling that off, or the fact that he picked up on it already. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like he
Yeah, I
was
mean,
already.
he's watching the little subtleties and all these things, like, just the one drip of sweat.
Yep. The guy just kept edging his hand towards his piece and was
Yeah.
like he was watching him. He was like, that's weird. Why would they be doing that? You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Like he already knew what was up before it even started.
Yeah.
So um I for some reason the scene that I completely had forgotten until I watched it this time was really Falcon's like big standout moment where he's flying around
Mhm.
and the helicarriers are all shooting at him and he's, retracting the wings,
Yeah. Doing the
flipping,
flips.
going back out. Like, I mean, it was so good.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
so good. I was like, wow, I don't know why I forgot this. I think because I was so focused on Cap at that time.
Yeah, and I think probably because probably nobody thought that Falcon was gonna be as big as he is.
Yeah.
Like, even before the Captain America thing, like, how much of a mainline character he was and, like, how they ran with so much, like, the relationship between, um, him and Bucky in Civil War and stuff like that, like, you never realized how he was just gonna be, like, kind of this character, kinda like Black Widow is, like, she didn't have her mainline moments.
Hmm.
Nothing that I can really stand out that, like, was this cool.
Yeah. 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 They were both just his fighting scenes, Cap's fighting scenes. Like I don't know who the choreographer for this
Yeah, I
movie was,
didn't I
but
didn't have a
it
chance to
was
look it up, but
yeah, it
it
was
was
so
gnarly.
good.
Just
CJ, if
gnarly.
you could look that person up, that'd be great.
Yeah, and I have to say, like, I mean, the action and fighting sequence were, like, just so violent and visceral with and not in an overpowering way.
Mhm.
The only time I've ever had an issue is at the end when Cap's fighting Bucky and he locks him down for that super shitty choke.
Oh, yeah, it was. It
I
was a
don't
super
care
shitty
I
joke,
don't
I
care
noticed
how
that.
strong Captain America is, that choke's not putting me to sleep, bro.
No,
It's not
no,
happening.
absolutely not, and
I
that's why he
love
was
that
up
he
2
trapped the
seconds
arm with a
later.
leg because that's something I do. Like, I like to trap the arm with the leg, but like, and like Frank Grillo's a jujitsu. I believe he's a purple belt. He might be a brown belt. Um, yeah,
Oh,
he
he
just
is a
confirmed
brown belt?
he's a brown belt. The dude's legit. Like, he's a martial artist, and like I'm sure their fight choreographers know something, but um, that one upset me. That one upset me
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah. Okay. All right.
Right?
Well, no bigs. We
Yeah.
CJ was gonna try and
Yeah,
look up the
because like
choreographer
because
for us.
there's only 2, like, action sequences that I have issues with, and that is the first one, or that's I should say that's the second one because it's later in the movie, but the first one is when Cap, Sam, and Widow are all in the car, and they're driving, and then you see they have to step on the brakes because Winter Soldier's standing in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Do you wanna tell me in the entire world that Sam Wilson doesn't have an AR in that car to throw rounds through that windshield?
Oh, I know, right? They had nothing.
Because I promise you, if we have to get into some, like, deep, deep, deep shit and somebody's jumping in front of the car and I can't hit and it's gonna be a problem if I hit him with the car, I'm throwing rounds through that windshield before anybody can think twice.
Oh,
I'm saving your
absolutely.
ass. I am
Oh,
saving your ass. So
absolutely.
the only person that brought a gun for that entire fight was Black Widow
Black
and her
Widow.
tiny fucking Glock 26s? No,
Pew,
get
pew,
them out of here.
pew.
Get them out of here. Oh, you're gonna kill me with your 10 shots and all these superhuman beings everywhere?
Yeah.
Fat chance. Fat chance.
And she holds her own with Bucky there for a
She
minute
does.
too.
She does.
She
She does.
does.
I do
Like,
have to give it, and like her stunt double's phenomenal.
oh,
Like,
absolutely.
she's
And
amazing, and how I mean, her physicality to be able to, like, just when she jumps up on his head and punch and, like, does the sun thing, and, then just getting thrown around, like, her stunt double is phenomenal.
yeah. Yeah, she was so good. Like it was just spies on spies in this movie.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's
I
why I
loved it.
fucking loved it. Yeah. Um I love that. I don't know if it was a callback, but I feel like him ripping off the door and them sliding on the door was a callback to Cap pulling the door off in the first one and using
Yeah, I
that as
thought
a
so
shield.
too. I thought so too.
Like I yeah, that
Yeah,
I
because
feel like
I mean,
that
like,
has to be a
yeah,
callback.
yeah, I totally agree, I totally agree.
Yeah. Um and then I love that she just fucking he finally when he takes off is just she finally got a hold of the 203 grenade launcher and finally just shot it at him. She was just like, "All right, fuck
Yeah,
this."
screw it.
Thunk.
I'm done, I'm done.
She's just like, "I'm so over this. We're not gonna beat this guy. Like he's
Yeah,
ridiculous." Um, let me bring up my notes here. Yep, I'm at the end of my notes on this. What else do you
yeah,
got?
I mean, I'm pretty close, but, like, just the overall feel of the movie, the relationship between Cap and Bucky, and you get to watch a lot more emotion than we're used to seeing out of Captain America. Like, it's just phenomenal all around. Like,
It was.
it's amazing. It's a roller coaster, and um, I mean, there's a solid reason. Like, this is by far and away my favorite movie.
Yeah. Yep. I love setting up the book, his little
Hmm.
book of all of his things that
Yeah.
he needs to know, which it comes into play later on when you watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
Okay. Okay.
which is really cool. It just sets up so many great character moments. I will say that the one thing that I noticed this time watching the movie, um, that I get scenes in this movie and scenes in Civil War mixed up.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
I get the
I
2
did the same
movies
thing.
mixed up a little bit.
Yeah.
Just
Well, because I
because
think there's a big focus on like on foot chase scenes, on foot chase scenes. Um, gnarly sequences between Winter Soldier and somebody else. Gnarly sequences between Winter Soldier and somebody else. Like
yes,
there's a lot. And I
them
think that's the only
tracking
reason they
down
called I have
him.
a bunch of things about Civil War in itself. It's not a Captain America movie, it's an Avengers movie.
It is.
But they called it a Captain America, which I still don't understand. But that's a whole other conversation. We'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah, it absolutely is. Um, so yeah, I guess, we'll go ahead and just, get to our rating on this one. Lance, out of 6 Infinity Stones, what are you gonna give this movie?
Can I go through alternate universes and give it more Avidity Stones because that's what this is going to take. Uh,
I'm down for that.
it's 6 out of 6. It's six out
CJ
of six.
said no.
He says no, I can't do that. I can't do that. But it's 6 out of 6.
Yeah, I 100% agree. CJ's disagreeing with us
Yeah,
right now.
he's very angry right now.
Yeah, it's 6 out of 6 for me
Six out of
also.
six.
This is CJ's bad because Lance was gonna try and add more stones
Yeah,
to it, but
I didn't though. I didn't
he
add any more
didn't, he
stones. I
didn't, he
kept it
didn't
to the
add more.
rating. We're
Yeah,
fine. We are fine.
it's 6 out of 6. So, yeah, that kinda ties up our, Captain America and the Winter Soldier,
Yeah,
movie. So, yeah, this was fun. I've been
yeah.
waiting for this one for a long
I know.
time.
I'm really excited. I'm thank you. I want to thank both of you guys for letting me come on and let me do this. Like this movie
Oh,
means a lot to me.
absolutely,
This
dude.
movie means a lot to both
Yeah,
of us, and I'm glad that I got to share this with you. Like
yeah,
this is good.
yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, I'm excited for next week too. So next week's movie, Guardians of the
That's right. Yeah,
Galaxy.
yeah.
What? Yeah, I might come in full costume. I don't know, maybe.
I would be
As
upset if you
Groot,
didn't.
I'm just gonna have twigs all over me. All right. Well, love you, man.
I love you too, dude.
All right. Love you, CJ.
Love you, CJ.
He sa he
Yeah, he
says
said
he
it.
loves
He
you.
said it, but we can't. You nobody can hear him. All right.
I love you. All right. We'll see you guys.
Yep.
Change it to the commercial. Oh, okay, there you go. No, back to us. You all right, C? Did you get a little drunky there?
Oh yeah.
Fuck did I do with the cap to this?